Apologies for that. My microphone seemed to have disabled itself. But I'm here. Hello, hello, sorry about that. God's honest truth is I turned it off earlier on my other account and I thought it wouldn't carry over to here, but it did. But Mike's here, pod viewers, I've been here for a while. Can't get the staff. Nah, I was here commentating the whole time. Yeah, didn't realise I was on mute. But anyway, my point was that Maz must win this race. I don't have the points gap as it stands. But I know that Maz needs to get P1 with the points gap. Currently he stands P4. Just under 4/10 off pole position. It's going to be an intense one. And the team game surely will. Just chasing the points gap. We know that Mavs has to win here. That is the only way he can win the World Championship. And as it stands, his championship rival is starting on pole position. I'm going to disable my microphone for a second and just hop into a VC real quick just to chase up this points gap. Be back in a second. Alright, I'm back. So the gap at the top is sitting at 20 points. So that indeed does mean that a miracle has to be pulled out of the hat by Maslin to get it all hooked up as we have the final flying laps of qualifying. This is what it all leads up to. They're all starting their final laps now. This is the final flying lap at quali pace of the season for all of our drivers and their final chance to bag a pole position. And George setting the sectors alight right now on a flying lap in the Alpine, showing us why he has been incredible this season. Maz has been more consistent, but Maz has peaked at higher positions, and that is a peak of Mount Everest site that Maz will now have to climb and clamber on top of to try and recover anything from this. That is an ominous sign of what's to come. 5/10 quicker than Maz. And he's got traffic. He's being blocked by the Haas. Maz has had to back out of his lap. Blocked by the Haas car. Who's that? He's been blocked by Raven's AI. And Maz will start P4 at the highest, because on a lap is Edvir. But Edvir has backed off. That is really going to frustrate Maz. Remember, he has to win. He cannot even afford to get second with fastest lap. And I've realised I've chatted in game chat, but he cannot even afford to get second with fastest lap. He must win. And so now it is a mammoth task, but if anyone can do it, it is reigning Division 1 champion, Maslin Jr. So as a recap of the positions, if Maz wins, which is the only way that he can, Spoonie P5 has a 5 place as well. So let me just calculate count back. Give me just a second. Driver standings. So with count back put into account, if Maz wins the race with fastest lap or without fastest lap, it does not matter if he gets it or not. Well, if he wins the race with fastest lap and Maz wins with fastest lap, that means that George must finish P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, P7. If not, if neither have the fastest lap, George can afford to finish P7. But if George has the fastest lap, he can afford to finish P8. So George's cutoff really here is P7 to win it, no matter what Maz does. Of a situation that we've seen many a time in Formula 1 where one driver does everything they can but still loses the title. Will we see fate do that again to yet another driver? Happened to Massa in 08. It happened to Alonso in 2012. And it may happen here to Maslin. Remember, ready up only when instructed. So as a recap, the season's been an up and down. There has only really been 2 cars in the mix from the start, from round 1. Despite in round 1, me taking out Maz on occasion, giving him a whack up the back, he won. Netherlands, he won again. But this is when we realised George's challenge. He won with fastest lap in Japan. And then it was a flurry of Maz and then George. They both had a bit of a stinker, which Kuski took advantage of in Azerbaijan. And since then, George has been on a mad one, winning the last 4 races he started. Maz has won 0. There has not been a winner other than Kuski, George and Maz all season long. Podiums, yes. $20 points is what separates these 2 greats from a championship. I wish the best of luck to both drivers. And it's one of those where either driver who wins today will have thoroughly deserved it. One on form early season in Maz, and one on form late season in George. Their paths collide at Abu Dhabi, and the showdown can begin. A reminder, Maz must win. But even if he does, with or without fastest lap, George just needs that P7. If George has fastest lap, he can finish P8 and win on countback by the fact that he would have had one more race win, even if Maz wins here. The wins being 3 to 5 coming into this race, even if Maz wins. Countback is still in George's favour. So if he finishes P8 with fastest lap, there is nothing George can do, Maz can do. And if he finishes P7 with or without fastest lap, even if Maz has it, it's game, set, and Division 1 championship. We saw it wrapped up many, many races ago in Division 2. And in Division 3, it's still not over there. Catch us Sunday for that. Which hopefully it'll be on the official account. If not, it'll be on George's Twitch. And the fight there is between Piastri, Pickle, and Tomboy. 3 cars, 1 championship there. But here, only 2 fighting for glory. No formation lap and a 5-minute break, which is just about ending up. We're still waiting. We got 8:04. Let's go. Green flag has been waved. No formation lap. Straight into it. Here we go then, to the 5 red lights for the season finale of HRA Division 1. And we go green. It seems like a very decent start from George, exactly what his teammate needed. He stays ahead of Kuski. Maz already up past Reese. Step 1 complete for Maz. Yellow's for Spoonie. He's round after his penalty. It's dropped him into unfamiliar waters, and that's an Aston sending it, a snake down the inside of Reese. We've also got Intronsic and Rules going side by side further back. They're still side by side heading down the straight. They touch wheels heading down the straight. Still side by side, I believe. No, Intronsic has backed out of it. Further up, Maz still in P3, and we have a bit of a battle here between Rules and Reese heading through the chicane. It's a poor exit for Rules though, and Intronsic will take advantage of that sweet clean around the outside on the straight and retake P6. So it's the dream start for George, and it's the start that Maz could have hoped for. I wouldn't call it a dream start because that would be George in the wall at turn 1, but that's not happened for Maz, and already pulling away. Edvir is going side by side further back as well here on Hammer Time. I believe he's just taken that position. Dom's had a lightning start as well. Further back, there we go, George, confirmation of setting the fastest lap. Further back we do have Hammer all over the back of Jelly. That gap's opened up a bit. We do have Raven here all over the back of the Alpha Romeo of Hammer Time. And already Snake past Maz. George blasting into the distance with Kuski. The Alpines working together. Maz looking to retake it from Snake. Snake going for an all-out podium here. It doesn't look like Maz is confident to put lock into the chicane. The Snake has passed him. The Snake with a nice podium to think about, but Maz has a championship to think about. Further back, there's a bit of a ding-dong going here, and Tronzic and Rules still battling out. They get very, very tight through the hotel section. And already at the front, George and Kuski bolting. They are absolutely gone. They have not used much more ERS, but they are on for a belter here. Although saying that, they are on the softer compounder tyre, so it may come to Maz later race. You see, Maz likes to go the alternate strategy, but a safety car earlier on has screwed him over many occasions. Here we go. Reese is all over the back of him now. In the Alpha Tauri, going to be looking to take that position. We go on board with the Alpha Tauri as he looks to the outside, go to the off-board cameras. Let's try and see him look for the switchback. Does he achieve it? Yes, he does. Goes up and under. Gives Maz a little nudge. That kills his momentum a little bit. And now side by side, heading down the main straight. Heading down the back straight, sorry. Into the long hairpin. Oh, so close to contact. But Reese has it. And Reese is now the front hard runner. Further back, a bit of a fight here between Death Mage and Hammer Time. Death Mage has run wide. Hammer Time lagging all over the place here. Lap 4, Kuski and George working together here to start to pull away. Maz fading down to P5. Still 25 laps to go. That'll be the thought rattling around his head. The mission cannot be win the championship. The mission must be win the race. Because he'll try and keep himself grounded tonight. There's a very slim chance here. George retakes the lead. The Alpines are working together very well here. But if the chasing quadruplet of Reese, Maz and Intronsic can stick with Snake here, not fight him too hard, but stick with him, they can start to claw back in and hold on to the back of George and Kuski, which is exactly what they need at this point in time. Maz is starting to fall back a little bit here, but he's falling into a bit of management here. Maybe looking to push his tyres at a later point in his stint. Or maybe he's gone for a full time trial setup in an attempt to try and make qualifying as good as possible. I doubt Maz would do something like that. But a gamble is the only way to win. Snake and Reese fighting out. They can't afford to fight too hard, otherwise they'll get out of check with the battle for the lead. Maz, I feel like, is already on the limit, but he's limited on what steering lock I think he can put on, which is limiting his pace. What I could see a couple laps ago. I'm not sure whether he's corrected that in his driving. I don't have chat open at the moment. I'll open it in just a minute as we see Dom battling out with Raven and Hammer. These three close friends off track. On track, I'm sure it's more of the same. It's Hammer time. It's been disconnected from the session. A side by side Dom. Hammer time, Hammer time. No, that's the Hammer. Right, Hammer time has an invite. And yes, that was Dom passing Raven. Passing Edbeer, who's just been done by Raven. Very clean move. Yeah. Maz is taking good care of the front tyres here. But it is making him vulnerable to Intronsic, who won't really care about the championship. As, oh my gosh, side by side, Reese and Snake, that gets very close. And that's cost them 8/10 in the fight to the lead. These guys clearly don't see themselves in that fight. Oh, contact! Reese has gone late on the brakes and spun Snake. Horrid luck for Snake yet again. He's been rotated by Reese, who's just sent it too hard on the brakes, giving him a massive nudge, and now Intronsic takes the lead of this train. And although it's horrendous for Snake and Reese's race, it's even worse for Maz, because the two quick cars that were helping pull him along and stick with the leaders are gone now, and that gap has now opened up to 4.3. He must turn the wick up, he must stop managing, because there is only one thing that will win this race, and that is pace, and pace alone. I don't think luck will factor into a track round this. It does in real life. Not as much as I was saying. Snake was retired from the session, not on track. His car not moving. If I was at Maz, I'd stay out. He's got no other option. But this, I have just commentators cursed it. Luck has dealt him a good card, so that means less of the time lost. Hammer time accidentally leaves the session, but he's back, and safety car has saved him. We have a lot of pitters here. Snake is out of the session. On lap 6 it was, he has caused the full safety car. That means that George and Kuski, who didn't take the safety car, interesting enough, did not take the safety car. Was the safety car out by then? Was the safety car out by then? Okay, the safety car was not out of the pit lane by the time the leaders passed them. Just check the clip. Chat is now open again on my phone. I'm going to take this. George is into the pit. George has gambled. He will go long on the hard. Everyone else diving into the pits. It's a no-brainer even for the hard runners. And Dom will now be Maz's wingman, because George will be right behind his championship rival. The safety car that, if they had caught the safety car when it came out that lap, would have helped Maz. That 20 seconds has dealt him yet another bad card. He is unable to fight. I'm going to take this chance to go to the toilet. I'll be back in just a moment. Safety car is in this lap. And I'm Maz will be the man to try and take this. And Kuski will be the Ministry of Defence to try and hold this. Get his teammate past while keeping Maz behind would be an ultimate task. Someone who's sitting third in the championship. You know he's got the marbles to give it a go. We are green. George already up past Dom into turn 1. And as he stares at his rival's gearbox, he will hope to stare at a familiar gearbox of the Alpine. Well, not so familiar. With George spent a lot of time out front recently. Must feel like Verstappen's these days. 4 wins on the bounce. Can he make it 5? He is gunning for it here. Kuski does defend after weaving once. A bit naughty there, but does defend. The car of Mazlan. But Maz has to be careful because he's got his championship rival behind who he will want to defend from. Kuski holds the inside and he will stay there. Maz, will he have the overspeed? Doesn't. George doesn't go down the inside. He might sniff a gap here, but Maz firmly shuts the door. There's no thank you. This may be a tall task, but it's not impossible. Death Mage has been rotated. Very tight on the brakes between Maz and George, but fresh, hard tyres for George are really helping him here to push him forwards and into sticking with Maz, who is all over the back of Kuski, who runs wide there. And Maz will look to take it now. He goes to the outside here. George firmly on his gearbox. To the outside goes Maz. That gets cut off. George still with it. This is a great scrap between the championship elects and Intrinsic and Rules looking to get involved in it. These two innocent bystanders, they're 3 wide. Hammer Time has retired from the session in the pits. They're 3 wide and Kuski gives Maz the old squeeze and says, there you go, George. They are now 3 wide, now heading down the main straight. Are we going to go 4 wide? On board with the Ferrari. Look at this for a sight. 2 rows of 2 abreast, 3 wide, heading into the chicanes. This is going to end well. Down the inside goes Intrinsic. And Maz holds it. But George takes the lead. Rules has got past. Snap of oversteer there for Maz. Kuski's dropping down the field as well. Maz holds P3, but his championship rival is up into P1 already, a second ahead, and Rolls goes around the outside to take the lead of the race. Someone get this man to read the script, because George should be firmly handing it to Rolls, but then fresh soft tyres really helping the McLaren and propelling him forwards into the lead of the race on lap 11. What an insane intense scrap between these cars. And I'd like to say I'm home alone today. So I can scream and shout as loud as I like, and this race will get me doing that for sure, because these two fighting it out for the lead of the race. One in for his first Division 1 win after winning the championship last season, I believe, and one in for his first championship in his debut season. He's down the inside now of Rules, who tries to DRS trap him, but DRS haven't been enabled yet. Rules. He looks for the switchback on George. He's going to get the DRS. I was wrong. It has been 3 laps since the safety car. And here comes Rules. Back down the inside of George. And Intrinsic. Look to the Ferrari further in the background, going side by side with Maz and up to P3. Madeline's still the leading car on the non-safety car strategy. As contact there between Reese and Kuski, that's going to put Kuski out of the fight that he needs to be in. Reese, who's fighting Madeline at the start, had a collision with the car of Snake, who retired from the session not long afterwards. He said surely in that spiral that I'm sure every driver knows about, and just binned it. But he's now all over the back of Maz. He out-qualified the Mercedes man. And he is all over the back of him. Maz is not having fun here on the correct strategy. A bump there from Reese. And he's going to go straight through that. Ooh, I'm not a big fan of that when that happens. person, I think position should be given back when stuff like that happens, but may have been netcode from my end, but we have the end that shows the true picture. There's an Alpine under threat from a Mercedes. But saying that, Raven slung it down the inside in the Haas of Hammer, and here they go. Edvir, will he look to get involved in this? He doesn't, but they're side by side. Then between Hammer and Raven, Edvir will look to get involved on the switchback on the exit, but no, it's Raven who's going to look to capture this chance. George has retaken the lead and has pulled a second on rules, and Tronzik has closed that in. Dom has rejoined the session after the disconnect. Apologies for not giving an invite, but it's a bit hectic here as we have Edvir looking at the inside of Hammer, who is on the outside. They get so close on the exit of the corner. Hammer now down the inside of Kuski, heading into the hotel section. Does he dare stick his nose in there? Yes, he does. He'll have the outside here, and he'll look to hold it there. Open up the line through Latifi corner, but he's unable to make any mend of it. Hello, Maxwell. How's it going? As that's Kuski into the pits. Maz does not pit. He stays out. And this is really hotting up in Tronzik now all over the back of rules. For P3, this will be. For P2, sorry, this will be. Down the inside goes the Ferrari. He has to watch out for the DRS trap. Rules already pulled that off once, but he hasn't pulled it off this time. And now Reese will look to capture the lack of DRS for rules. There's a yellow flag further back that looks like Jelly having a spin. And then definitely Kuski exits the Kuski exits the piss. Kuski exits the pits as well. And Reese is going to be not able to do anything here, but here comes Rules. He still has the soft tyre on. Will he sling it down the inside of Tronzik at the hairpin? But the Ferrari holds it later, stand right around the outside. They're still side by side. Such an incredible battle between these two. The experienced Division 1 man versus the debutant in his debut season in Division 1, showing his marbles. And Reese all over the back of it, but Reese has rotated it. Reese has spun, and that allowed Maz to move up a position, as it will Raven, who's all over the back of Maz here, and he's putting down a brilliant race here. Incredible stuff. Pits comes Dom. Now staying out, hoping for a safety car here. George leads the race as it stands. As Jelly's retired from the session. Full safety car deployed. This is exactly what Maslam wanted. But now George can also pit. And that's the disadvantage of this strat. It means the medium runners can pit, catch up with you, repass you. Does Raven have an illegal overtake? He doesn't. Wow. I expect to see everyone in. From George all the way down. It's a no-brainer, really. Who passes Reese, who's going slowly here after his spin. Oh my god. Everyone but George into the pits then. This is going to be chaos in the pit lane. How good can your pit crew be? Can they slip you out in that gap or not? Out comes Maz on his medium tyres. Where does he lie? P5. This is a big one. Where's Kuski going to come out in the midst of this? it will be behind Edveer and Maslin. So then, this has really intensified it. George knows in 7 that I'm sure he will know. I'm sure will be rattling around his brain. It's one of those things and thoughts that you cannot stop when you're sitting in that position to win the championship comfortably. The position you need there in your head. What could happen in 12 lap time? What will your celebration be? It's all there. And it's all a distraction. You have to try and flood it out, but it's pointless. It does lead to mistakes and things. I'm not quick enough to have been there many times. But battling through it to ultimately take that checkered flag as everyone, no one weaving to warm their tyres here, everyone doing the glitch. So it's just so much more efficient. Yeah, if you don't know it, put your brake bias as high as possible. In about 3rd or 4th gear, ride the brake with full throttle and it will warm your tyres. No weaving needed? No, nothing. They'll evenly warm them without putting wear on them. Not bad. Into the pits comes George. But yeah, that thought will be rattling around in your head. The one time I've beat it, I was able to shelf it and not think about it, was my first ever win in rental karting, in competitive rental karting. And George has probably been in this situation many a time. He'll know how to put his head down. They all look up now and see the safety car fading into the distance. Heartbeat rising. And he will have 11 laps between him and debut Division 1 glory. Our first F1 23 champion will be crowned very, very shortly. Stick around and find out. George has done his bit. He's bolted from intrinsic. Rules Raven and Maz. Redveer and Kusky. The hard barriers, that's a mistake there for Raven. Maz gets up past in the process. A good save from Raven there. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. But here we go. There will be an almighty scrap for the lead of this race. Kusky will look to hold his position. Maybe let the top 5 gap, because he will also know that it has to be P7 from George, but this is one position gone. 2 intrinsic. Maslin will see this going on ahead and will look to try and get involved. And now Rules is looking to get involved. He was fighting George just laps ago. He will look to fight him again. Will he look to go down the inside? Doesn't. George is now all over the back of intrinsic, but he does have to watch out because here comes Rules. So much more grip on that McLaren. Will he sling it down the inside into the hotel section? Doesn't quite. Remember, even if George crashes out in all of this, man still has to win the race. So many factors as Kusky fighting Reese very, very hard. Into the final corner they go. Still side by side. Incredible stuff. Still side by side heading down the main straight. Alpine versus AlphaTauri. Round the outside goes the AlphaTauri. But the Alpine on the inside has the impetus and the confidence to defend. But Reese is not letting this go easy. He's trying to force his way onto the outside line there, but got a really strong cutback. He straightens out the car, and he's really on the gearbox here of the Alpine. Goes out of the slipstream. As here comes Maz down the inside, looking from that camera that was installed on Hamilton's car. As we can see him all over the back of Rules here. He takes it. But Rules really try and hold the inside for the podium. He does. They're side by side. Incredible stuff. Maz has a championship to think about, and he's absolutely sending it in an attempt to try and get with Raven and pass him. Spoonie's gone off at the hairpin. But look at the quick difference. Rules on old cars, rules on fresh mediums. Intronsic is gone. Into the distance goes the Ferrari man. This is getting intense. No dive bomb there. Spoonie's retired from the session. Full safety car. Field will be bunched up yet again. And anyone who wants to pit can pit now. Will George pit to put some softs on and try and confirm it with a bit of a last to first? He'll only have a few positions and his teammate sits in that magical B7. You never know. Team orders may win this championship. My God, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Alright, we back. And that's the sight we see. George into the pits. He's now setting P7. He is in that magical position. The lowest he's been all race. Capacity up to 5, so stopping to exit. Penalties for everyone behind George. If George can keep this clean, and keep it where it lies, it will be championship number 1. But he won't make it easy. will be the last lap under safety car. Hammer into the pits. Koski as well. He's going to pit. Cover off Hammer. You can see he can gain more from this situation. George hits P6. Moves up a position and we see 6 cars between him and victory. Safety car is in this lap. Fonda gets to leave, await the field. The final safety car restart of HRA Division 1. The big one. The Ferrari steps on it and is gone. Maz and Rules giving chase. Already George is up the inside of Reese, unable to pass there. Here comes Reese and Raven side by side. Maz has to push, give it everything he's got because he must win. And here George has a mighty view though of Reese and Raven fighting it out. Doesn't go down the inside of both of them. He will know he has the position. He'll try and stick out of trouble because he'll know also a DNF will give Maz a boost of motivation. As collision! And no! George is out the race! George is gone! Oh my god! Safety car deployed! This is the worst scenario possible for the Alpine driver. He's out of the race! And Mads actually could win this! From a week ago saying GG's to the championship. He's out! Incredible scenes! And HRA, just as you think things are returning to some sense of normality, fate kicks someone in the backside. And here, George is out. So Maz has a chance in hell to win this title and be what I believe in the name of HRA's first back-to-back Division 1 champion. No one's done that in our HRA name. Under the previous name, I'm not quite sure. But this is incredible. Does anyone pit? Soft runners' tyres will be coming into the end of their life. And the impossible has just become possible. Oh my goodness me. League racing, twists and turns at its finest. And George will be literally praying to whatever god he follows that Maz will be unable to win this. And Maz will be shaking. Even the best in the world feel the pressure in this scenario. Even the best crack under it. Even Verstappen in 21, he had, you know, so many things. He was so tense up. He even got cramp on the last lap. which is why he went for the move on Lewis, would you believe it or not? But this is an entirely different story. This is now Mercedes that can actually win the championship. All he must do is win the race, and I cannot scarcely believe my eyes. 2 cars between Mazlum and back-to-back glory. And I'm so very sure the safety car will be in this lap. I am lightheaded, I am dizzy, but we must see this out. Oh my God. I cannot believe this. Will we see a world champion crowned sitting on the pit wall? Or will we see Mazlum be the first multi-division champion in HRA? Be the first back-to-back champion in HRA. Def Major and Hammer into the pits. I can scarcely believe my eyes. And that is George's first DNF of the season, and it's come at the worst possible time. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Seconds before the collision, that he wanted to stay away from the fighting. He tried, but fate willed it that he is out of the session. But will that, despite that, Maz does not win the championship. 20 points the gap at the front, so Maz cannot win second with fastest lap. He must be P1. That is where the Mercedes must be at the end of lap 29. At the checkered flag, he must be first to win the championship. I've never seen the like. I have never seen the like. I cannot scarcely believe this is happening. The safety car was not in last lap, but it is in this lap. Oh my good God. Oh my good God. Intronsic. And rules, the 2 cars that separate Maz from the championship. But Reese and all of the soft runners behind there to deny him as well. His eyes will be firmly forward as the safety car restart begins. Intronsic leads the way, followed by Rules, Maz, Reese, Edfear, Dom, Kusky, Hammer and Def Mage. No fights. No fights as it stands. Intronsic is gone. But here comes Mazlum. Looks to the outside, looks to the switchback. Kusky's moved up a place here. And Intronsic is truly gone into the distance. But Maz to the outside, looks to make the move. Rules isn't making it easy at all. As this fight continues to unfold, heading down the second straight. Here comes Maz to the outside. He'll go. He will use every bit of battery he can to try and get past Rules here, who isn't allowing it to happen. He has to go for something ballsy here. Maybe look for a switchback. Because for the ERS he's used, he's got to do it now. He hasn't. And Intronsic will continue to blast away into the distance, into the sector. Maz must think of something, must do something. He's down the inside of Rules and takes the position. Maz has one more position between himself and a back-to-back championship. 1 second between a frown and a smile that again, the worst of news will wipe from his face. We have 2 and a bit, 3 laps to go here. And we will find out at Abu Dhabi who is crowned champion. Maz is not letting this one go easy. He has been dealt the hand of cards. You know, pocket aces. He has it. But he just has to play it right. And his hands, his feet, everything in his body will be trembling from nerves. 6 tenths, 7 tenths. That's the LRS on Intronsic. 54% is not looking good for Maz, but Maz seemingly has the pace here. He out-qualified Intronsic by a couple tenths of a second, and if he can hold that couple tenths of a second, he'll take the lead of the race. We will see a last lap fight for the championship, unless Kusky can get involved in it. He is now up to P3, 2 seconds off the back of this fight, and Kusky might well play the team game here and overtake Maz to crown the championship. So many factors all season long, highs and lows, have led up to these last 2 laps and to the possibilities that lie. Everything, it's all come down to fate in the end, be it good or bad. And we stand, and George stands with us, unable to do anything. Spectators, as Maz to the inside takes the lead of the race. He's in position. George will be furious after that crash. And Maz has taken the lead of the race, but has he done it at the wrong point? Has he done it at the wrong time? Because Intronsic might look to get it back. He defends hard to the inside. It will go down to a last lap showdown between Ferrari and Mercedes. They fought it out in real life. There will be another title battle between Merc and Ferrari, I think, in Division 3, Alex is saying. But this is the one here and now. And this is us coming onto the final lap of the race, rounding the final 2 corners. Intronsic is now back by 6 tenths of a second. Maz will be throwing everything at this, because after last time not being able to turn up, he said it was over in the chat. He even congratulated George on the title. And here he is, standing after a 20-point deficit at the start of the race. He is now looking to take it. There's 2 sectors, 2, between a Division 1 championship that has been tooth and nail all season long. Maz is giving it absolutely everything here, as is Kusky. He can still affect the outcome of this. Let's hope no penalties for anyone, because we don't want to see a championship ruled out by a penalty. Maz takes it careful on power. Kusky is there. Kusky is there. But Intronsic unable to. He's all over the back of Maz here. 1 sector to go. He goes wide, Maz, but I think he had a warning in the bag. He has just corners to go between the most miraculous championship turnaround I have seen in my league racing days. Yellow flags further back. I cannot scarcely believe my eyes. Maz is rounding the final corner, and by some miraculous situation, Maz takes the checker flag and the Division 1 championship. He's done it! I cannot believe it. How he has taken that win, I cannot believe. Maslin Jr. is back-to-back champion. He's done it on 2 games at the top flight of HRA. Champion of the world. Commiserations to George, taken out of the race by factors that he could not foresee. What a season that these 2 giants have provided us.
And it ends off with a 20-point deficit overturned. And Mazlan, as champion, his teammate gets driver of the day. Maz will be elated with that. Incredible stuff. He steps onto the top step, the step that he had to stand on, no matter what. At the top of the stream, I said we see Massa and Alonso robbed, despite doing their best. And I said fate might, that was then, this is now, and this is really happening. Mazlan, you can believe your eyes, because they are telling you true. That is the most miraculous, incredible race I have seen. Drama all the way through. An incredible title fight that went down to something outside of George's control. A penultimate lap pass. A gap that decreased to just under 0.2 of a second at one point on the last lap. But Mazlan, by just 0.5, after all of that turmoil all season long, the highs earlier on in the season, the lows late season of just getting caught and caught and caught. Well, no one was catching him today. He rounds off the day as our Division 1 champion. Wow. He needed a miracle. It was a miracle. And that drive was something special. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you for the compliments, but truly, I know this is the most Hamilton #blessed thing to say, but I just say what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is incredible races. Race after race, HRA delivers. And it has delivered to me the greatest championship finish that I have ever seen. A 20-point deficit by a car that was 0.5 slower in qualifying than the championship rival, who took pole. And it takes the win. And the name is Mazlan Jr., for anyone who was wondering. Commiserations to George. Robbed will be the consensus. Robbed. But Maz will not care one bit. He will be humble. He will say that he hated it to end like that to George. But truly, he'll be feeling nothing but happiness right now. I cannot believe my eyes. And as we round out the end of the season, I'd like to say thank you for joining us. And join George and Kusky in the comms box for Division 3. I'll be in the chat watching along. 3 cars in the fight there. Only one can take it. But in the top flight of HRA, Mazlan has worked up a bit of Maz magic. And Magic Maz has won the title. Thank you for joining me. It is truly an honour to commentate on this league. I've been Apollo. This has been HRA Division 1, Round 12 at Abu Dhabi, the season finale. And it ends off with Maz, back-to-back champion. And a miracle happened tonight. Thank you for joining.